Hello and welcome to the Spectralink Pro Tip training video. In this video, we'll discuss the initial software update for your Versity handset. As you all may know, when the Versity handsets come from the distributor or warehouse, they may not have the latest software version on there. So it's best practice to update that software to the latest software on those devices. This is all in preparation for your deployment. In preparation for your initial software update for your Versity handsets, you'll need to set up a web server. Your web server will host the software itself, so the Versity handsets can download that software and install it. The Spectralink support site has a great technical bulletin on this, on helping you set up your web server so it's ready for the software update. There's a tech bulletin, it's called CS 1901. Again, that's on the Spectralink support site. For the software update, there's a number of different platforms that could be used. Again, it's just a basic web server. You could use Windows IIS or a Linux web server, or even a third-party app such as Abyss web server. Those all seem to work just fine. Something to keep in mind when you're deciding on which web server to use is that it must support both directory browsing as well as look-ahead functions. Make sure you can add the MIME file types for .sig and .apk, as these will be update files that the Versity handset will be looking for. Next, you'll want to go to the Spectralink support site and download the latest version of Versity software. Here's just a screenshot of where you can go. You can search for Versity and click on the Downloads tab for whatever model you happen to be using, and you'll see the different softwares there available to you for download. You'll need to sign into your account. Again, this is tied to your SpectraCare account that you have with Spectralink. So you should have that login already. If you don't have that login, you can create one, as well as if you're having some trouble, you can always contact Spectralink support for assistance. Now that you have a web server set up and you've downloaded the latest version of software, now you want to load those pieces of software onto your update server. Okay, now it'll look something like this. You'll have actually three files. You'll have an OTA update file, an APK update file, an APK update.sig file. So we have a couple zip files as well as a signature file to verify the validity of these update files. Okay, so notice we have these three files, and all three need to be put on your web server. Now you can put these in the root folder of your web server or into a subfolder. Just make sure when you specify the path on the phone's configuration where it's looking for that software, you'll need to specify that folder name as well if you're using a subfolder. If you're not using a subfolder, you'll just specify the file name of the OTA update file itself. Okay, next we'll go ahead and start up a phone. So we'll insert the battery, power on the unit, and it'll stop here at the Hi There screen. So the next thing we'll need to do from that screen is proceed by clicking the Start to actually start the Google Wizard. So if we click the Start button here, it starts the Google Wizard. Next we'll select the Wi-Fi, connect to Wi-Fi. So remember, the Wi-Fi needs to have connectivity back to your web server so the phone can download that software. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and continue on through the other Google Wizard screen. So select more and next and those type of things. Eventually you're going to end up back at the home screen for the Versity's default home screen. Okay, from there you can swipe up from the bottom of the phone and select the Sys Updater app as you see here on the right. Once you select that Sys Updater app, we'll go ahead and open that app, and you see here we open the default screen. And then at the top right, you'll see the three little dots. Click on those three little dots, those little buttons at the top, and select Settings. This will get us in the configuration of the Sys Updater app itself. Here's where we're going to put in the server address for your web server that we just talked about, as well as the relative path. Okay, so again, if we're using just the software update file is in the root folder, we just need to specify the file name here of the OTA update.zip file. Okay, so put that complete file name in there. Again, if we're using a subfolder, we'll need to add a slash, the folder name itself, and then a slash, and then the file name itself, as you see here. Okay, now that we've got that SysUpdater configuration set, we'll go back to the main screen of the SysUpdater app and click on the Check for Update button. Once we click on that icon, you'll see the phone will start to reach out to that update server and start downloading the file. Once it's done downloading the file, the phone's going to reboot and come back up to that home screen. And you're all done. The software update's complete and you're ready to go. Just repeat this process of updating the software on each one of your handsets, and you should be all set. Thank you for attending this training video. Additionally, if you'd like to find out more information, please contact the Spectralink support team.